Thanks for tuning into the Day One podcast. I'm Adam Daly, and thanks for your patience. It's been a little bit of a gap since our last episode, but I'm excited to bring you another one. A huge shout out to the Facebook community who made a comment about the lack of podcast. Honestly, it warms my heart. I appreciate the little nudges because I do love podcasting. I do love Day One, so it's a perfect combination. I just wanted to get on the episode today, do a little 2021 recap of the year, kind of what's happened so far, and then talk a little bit about what's coming up next. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff is happening, so I won't have a ton of details about what's next, but I'll give you as much as I have now. 2021's been a wild year, to say the least. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but I'm optimistic for the future. I'm excited about that. So some notable things that came to Day One, primarily to Mac OS and iOS, but also in the latter half of the year, we've really been able to ramp up production and engineering on Android. So I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But to Mac and iOS, there were a lot of great features that were introduced in 2021 that I think add a lot of value to your journaling experience. And if I could just mention a few of them, I will here. And then below in the description of this episode, I'm going to include links to our help guides for each of these. So if you're unfamiliar with the feature, and I just kind of gloss over it here as I recap, then you can go down into the description and learn more about these features. Because I think a lot of us would gain, if we aren't familiar with them now, would gain some enhancement to our journaling experience if we just knew what they were. So, a couple of things I want to mention. One, entry merging. I think this is a fantastic feature. I've seen where some users will have an IFT integration and multiple entries will come in on a single day and they want to merge all those in one. The entry merging feature is a great way to do that. It takes all of the entries and merges them with the earliest one and all in one thing. It's really simple to do. Awesome feature to combine multiple entries into one. The next one is the timeline sort order. Some users prefer not to have dates on their journal entries and they use it more like a notepad. And so timeline sort order allows you to do that, where it will sort all of your entries based on the last edit date as opposed to the static date for when the entry was created. Great option to switch up the timeline sort order. If you want to use one of your journals as more of a notebook instead of a journal, that's an option to do. Related to that, users can now do all-day entries. So instead of having a specific timestamp, in the date picker, you can enable all day, where the entry will just be reflected for the whole day and not just that specific time. And pinned entries. That's another exciting one, where you can pin a specific entry to the top of your timeline. One of my favorite features that came out this year, concealed journals. This allows a user to hide the content of your entries on the timeline view from prying eyes. So if you're in a public space or you're sharing a screen or something like that, concealed journals is a great way to hide your content while allowing you to only select the ones that you do want to share. Slash commands. We've had requests in the past for a shortcut for a timestamp or a date stamp so that people who are creating a longer entry throughout the day but want a timestamp for each of those entries or paragraphs, we've got slash commands where you can do that now. Type slash and then time, hit return, and the timestamp will automatically be input. Or you can do that with date. There's many more. Check out the link below to find out what slash commands are available. Another big one was texting. This was a feature we started in the US and Canada for now. With Canada, we use WhatsApp to connect this, but it's a great way to text whenever, on the go, wherever you are. Now, I understand there are a lot of ways to do this quickly with the Day One app itself, but for me, I don't know if you're similar to this, but I am probably in the Messages app more than any other app on my phone. And this is a great thing where you can have it set up to send you a daily text reminder. You simply reply, and an entry gets created in Day One. A really cool way to journal on the go, journal quickly, without having to open up another app. Now, please still go into the app. We still want you to use Day One, but I think this is a great way to journal. Another one, this is actually an iOS 15 feature, but something that we've also added integration for, but the ability to scan text from photos has been added. You can do this in the attachment menu on iOS, or you can do it through the camera app and get the text that way. But basically, you hold your camera over something that has text on it, and iOS 15 will recognize that and allow you to select it and copy it. You could even then paste it into a Day One entry, or use it within Day One. Use the scan text attachment feature, and it will bring up a little camera where you can do that right within the app. Very cool feature. I think this use case would probably be really beneficial for someone who might be scanning in old paper journals without having to manually transcribe it. Try this new scan to text feature. Another big request that we tackled this year were custom fonts and custom font sizes. So check out all these features. They're available now in the app. We're really excited to have brought these to you throughout 2021. A lot of stuff was happening behind the scenes as well. I have to give a shout out to our web and server teams who have been working to make sure sync is running and resolving any issues that come up there. So shout out to that team and also to our Android team. It was small at the beginning of the year, but now we've got a beefed up team. So one of the biggest events, I think, in the day one history this year was obviously the acquisition by Automatic and us joining that company. So if I could, and you'll indulge me for just a moment, I'll give you my personal perspective about how this has gone. And I just want to say that we've settled in with Automatic very well. They have welcomed us, and the resources and support through this transition have been tremendous. So a huge shout out to Automatic and the transition team and everybody who's been involved so far and will still be involved as we go along. It's been great, and we're happy to be a part of this company bringing out great products. With that, we've added additional engineers to our Apple clients team, to our Android team, to our web team, and to our server team, which is going to allow us to address concerns and needs as they are now, but also move forward with our roadmap, hopefully in a little bit of an accelerated rate than previously anticipated. So that's awesome. I'm really excited about that. As you can imagine, I'm one of the support people, so I'm loving the additional resources that we have. So with that, I will let you know, here's what's coming. Here are the big things that I'm most excited about, and I'll tell you why. One, end-to-end encryption support for Android is nearing completion, and I am super excited about this. It's going to start unlocking the ability to move forward in all of the other feature parity ways to match up with the experience that we have on iOS and Mac with Android devices. And I know that's a big, big deal. So thank you for your patience as we have tried to find the best way forward, and I think we have now, so I'm excited about that. Along with that, our web app is still underway, working hard at that. The main components for these things, and ones we want to do right and not have problems with, is that encryption factor. So end-to-end encryption for Android, it's not an overnight switch we can flip and just say, all right, this is done. This is taking some care and consideration to make sure we do it right and protect your data. Same with the web app. Having a way to access your content on the web while also being encrypted, we want to make sure we do that right. So thanks for your patience while we work on those. Those are the two big features that I'm excited to tell you about and that we're working hard on. More coming, y'all. Those are the two big ones that I wanted to talk about today, was end-to-end encryption on Android, which is going to open the door to many other updates and improvements that we want to make there. And then also our web app, which is coming. I think it's going to be exciting and open up the doors to a lot of users who may not have a Mac computer or something like that. So thank you again for your support, for your feedback, for your requests. They have been very helpful in dialing in day one and making it the best digital journal out there. That's what we're going for. We want to make sure we protect user data, keep your information safe, but then also provide an excellent experience for adding your memories to this app. I feel like when dealing with like a financial app, a bank app or something like that, you're dealing with people's finances, which is, something you want to be very careful for. And while not as tangible, I guess I could say, your memories are also super precious. And I see that in your comments and when you write into us. That makes sense to us. Most of us are users, and we get it. We want to make sure that is a great experience while also keeping your data safe. In addition to the links I'm going to put in here about these features that I've talked about that came out in 2021, please also check out, I'll put an additional link down here about the backup and sync options that Day One offers, because we've even beefed that up a little bit as well. So keep an eye on that. More coming. We'll keep adding to our release notes as things come out, and Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your input. I love all of that. I don't have a specific tip today, other than I would just like to mention this, because I was talking to a relative recently, and I showed them several different options to long press. On the iPad and iPhone apps, there are a lot of things that you can long press on for additional menu options, perhaps even shortcuts that you might find useful. So check that out. Try long pressing on some of the icons and see what you get. For example, if you long press on the timeline button at the lower left of the iPad or iOS iPhone app, you'll get a quick list of some journals that you can switch to, your most frequently used journals. So you don't have to open the journal drawer. You can just tap and hold there and then choose the journal and switch over to it. You may be surprised at how many long press options are in there, because it's pretty cool. So check that out. Last thing I'd like to leave you with is a blog post that came out, I want to say end of 2016, maybe 2017, by Josh Ginter, who talked about 10 reflection questions. And he posted this on dayoneapp.com/blog. I'll put a link below. The button to create an entry is not working right now, so I apologize for that. But you can use these questions, I think, to get started. And I invite you to. These questions are a great way to kind of recap the end of your year, kind of give you some reflection about how it went, maybe look forward a little bit to the future. But check that out. Maybe add those, copy and paste those into your journal entry for the end of the year and have some reflection time. I think that'd be a great opportunity. It's one of my favorite things I get to do every year. And then I print my books. I do, depending on the content and how much I have, it's usually one, 2, or 3 books a year. And great way to have those in a physical format, to either share with others or maybe pass them on in the future. That's one of the main reasons I like to do it. Plus, they just look so nice. It's really cool. Thanks for tuning in today. I offer you my best wishes for the end of the year. Season's greetings. Happy end of 2021. And may 2022 be even better. That is my hope for us all. Thanks again for tuning in.